I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man, Clever. You know, Clever Conversations. And today, we have a special gift. Today, we have State Representative Carl Gilliard in the house. Man, listen.
What's
up, baby?
What's happening?
Yo, man, listen. We appreciate you taking time for everything going on in the world to come down here and chop it up with your boys.
There is no
man.
place like home.
Come on.
Man, when you tell me what to do, you gave me my marching orders, man. I need you on this show. I'm running down here to try to get here, man. But this is phenomenal, man.
Man, listen, I appreciate you. And so when we was birthing this idea, I said we gotta have Carl on. Carl, it is impossible for us to do the show and not have you on, man. And part of that is because we've been knowing each other since I was 10. I won't tell your age. I won't tell your age.
Yeah.
We've been knowing each other for a long time, and just for me to see your transition from where we were, in the east side of Savannah,
Hazard County.
Y'all already know, and just to see your growth and to see your growth and development, man, it is definitely a great thing for somebody. Where when I see you on TV, when I see you making all of these big moves, I say I know him. Like not just like I saw him before. Like not I seen him I know this cat.
Yeah. Hey, but we came from the same neighborhood. We walked. We didn't have no car.
No.
You were in the rap game. You were in the infancy, always being positive, always being a leader, always trying to say, what can we do? So when you come from that same neighborhood and the neighborhood breathed you and taught you, why not have the connection? So it's a divine appointment, man.
Man, listen, I love it. I love it, man. I'm just, again, honored to have you again with everything that's going on in the world and with this being close to election time and everything you guys have to do with that. I'm just honored that you would take your time and come chop it up with us. So
man,
I appreciate it.
First of all, I was looking forward to this. I told my family I'm coming to see Clever D.
Woo, woo, woo. The MC.
And there's no one in the grocery store. My daughter and them said, I ran into Clever D. My wife said, I ran into Clever D. I was like, golly.
Yo, man, it's just, I'm out.
You have done a tremendous job where you have set the pace. It wasn't every day that we were on TV. If we were on TV, we were going to be on TV in another way. And so now you have monopolized TV and given a real strong message. People can believe that they can do what you do, So you're the symbol. I'm in Atlanta in the hotel room. Do yourself a favor. I said, oh, my God.
Dude, it's been almost 16 years.
Yeah, tremendous.
A decade and a half.
Tremendous, man.
I'm honored, man, because I tell people all the time, though, I'm honored when people see and or like the commercial or like the product that I was putting out. And for me, it is because you don't have to like it.
Right.
but you could choose not to like it.
Who does that and is able to have that brand for 16 years and the brand and the jingle and everything is still going, everybody knows it. It would have faded out. But what you've given it is that, and I want Mr. Michael Stella to know that the street committee said, yeah.
Oh man, listen, it's been a definite blast. But we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna talk about the VIP that's here with us. For the people that don't know you, that don't have the luxury of calling you brother. I have the luxuries
all day.
So for those people, can you explain just a little bit of your journey? Like, where were you born and raised, school you went to? And then we'll kind of get into your journey from then to now.
Man, I'm just Savannah known, Georgia grown.
Okay.
I grew up in Hazard County. My mother had 10 children. So, my mother and father had to loan us to the aunties that we had because they had big responsibilities. I was child number 9. So on the weekend, I was loaned to this aunt on Augusta Ave.
Okay.
Carver Village. you know,
That's
38th
right.
and 38th and over there in Borough. So everybody had an assignment, and they grew up with other aunties. My surrogate parents were the Chews. People don't know that. Right across the street from me, my mother and father were the first black family to buy a home in an all-white neighborhood. So racism was really prevalent. But my best friend was Tommy Chew across the street.
From Choose gas station and Choose grocery.
Chews, that's
Okay.
right. So his mother and father did not speak English. My first job at the age of 8 years old was Tommy and I had to do inventory in the very first Chews store, which was in the house on Price Street. And so they called me Call. They
Call.
didn't, and I knew when they said Huckquay, they were talking about me, an African American, but they couldn't speak English. But on the weekends, they practically raised me and took me and Tommy to the beach. And when Tommy put on the suntan lotion, I'm sitting up there putting it on too. So,
Well, you gotta protect yourself.
so you can see why I was addicted to Chinese food. But they call him the in lover, and they call me Chink lover. So we experienced racism, but we were raised together like brothers. So my mother worked for Colonel Hunter, who was the brother of General Hunter, Hunter Army Airfield.
Right.
She was his cook. So she taught me about relationships. My father was a hardworking, humble man, so he taught me about how to be humble. So I learned a lot from my parents.
That's good stuff, man. So 1 of 9. So
The knee
five,
baby.
5'4".
The knee baby.
But how was it? 5'4" girls or 4 or 5,
They were
7'2"?
there were 7 boys and 3 girls.
I know those girls felt protected. Like
Yeah.
Like-
Tell me what to do still. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, our sisters never, even the younger ones, never try to tell us what to do, right?
Yeah, man. But see, I was a home alone child. My mother called Danny, Mark, Niecy, Jackie's. Oh, Carl, yeah, number 9, right down there. I learned to see brothers and sisters who had a lot of gifts. All of them had gifts. And I learned from them, I learned from my parents, and I learned from the neighborhood.
Okay. So growing up in Hazard County, what elementary, middle school, high school did you
Man,
go
I went to the best school, 37th Street Elementary School, Thunderbolt. You went to Thunderbolt, man?
37th Street.
They had a song called Thunderbolt was an Indian town. When the lightning struck the town, Indian people came around. Thunderbolt was an Indian town.
Okay.
Went to Thunderbolt, the 37th Street, then went to Bartlett, and then came to Blue and Gold, AE Beach High School.
Bulldogs for
For
life.
life.
Where my dogs at?
So you know Blue and Gold will always change your life.
Always, baby.
So
Always.
So I was a martial artist. People didn't know that. At age 13, I was a black belt. My instructor was Master John Lee. But the people in the neighborhood would see me walk around with this 6-foot staff, this bow. It was my mom's broomstick. And I would practice katas and spin them. So when I got to Beach High School, they said, man, what you doing? I was behind the lunchroom. I'm spinning my bow. We need a drum major. I said, what's a drum major? You need to try out for drum major. I said, what's a drum major? I don't even know what a drum
Yo,
major.
what is it?
I didn't even know what a halftime show was. Never been to, I don't know what you're talking about. I went by the direction of a young lady that told me to go see Mr. Hutchins, the band director. And he said, let me see what you got. And I got this drum major baton dismation. I'm spinning it. He said, we need a drum major, but you're supposed to be in the band. Do you play instruments? I said, I play drums. Left, right, in the 6th grade. And he had me try out for drum major. He trained me, and I became drum major at Beach. That afforded me a scholarship at 3 colleges from Morris Brown, FAMU, and Bethune. I chose Morris Brown.
3.
3.
Playing the drums.
Being drum major.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Man. And where did you choose?
I chose Morris Brown down
Okay.
this town. Get them horns up off the ground. Purple and white.
All right.
The Wolverines.
So what did you study in school?
I started in music. My goal was I was coming back to Savannah to replace my band director. I was going to inherit the legacy. And then I met Reverend Dr. Hosea Williams, changed my life. Jesse Jackson was running for president. I became his youth coordinator that year as a freshman. I became freshman class president at Morris Brown. Didn't even think about politics. I was going to party.
Right.
I was going to Vic's, and all this stuff, Club Vic's and all this stuff. And I was going to have me a good time. And all of a sudden I met Reverend Dr. Hosea Williams, and he started telling me about the movement. Changed my life, messed me up, took me into my hood, showed me about poverty. Met Jesse Jackson, became his youth coordinator. Met Mabel Thomas, became her youth coordinator. She ran for state rep. I ended up serving with her later in years to come. But my point of it is, met Miss Coretta Scott King.
Really?
She mentored me. Dick Gregory mentored me. So I started getting involved with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in my freshman year. And all of a sudden, Savannah had a problem with violence. And so I'm up in Atlanta. I'm on my scholarship. I'm having a great time in the band, seeing all these people.
Yeah.
Bubbling brown sugars, all that.
Yeah,
I better have a drink, man. I better have a drink, man. That's good stuff right there.
Yes, sir.
So, but I learned from those persons who made history, and I was a servant. And the problem now with a lot of people that are getting elected, they don't want to serve. They just want to rise to the ranks and get their name on the ballot or get a title, but no one wants to serve anymore.
I'm a firm believer, and I tell people when I get into the conversation with them that I think I'm a good leader. And the reason that I think I'm a good leader is because I am a great follower. I think you have to know how to follow before you lead. And there's a real big difference between being a boss and being a manager.
That's right.
A boss is just delegating. You do this, you do that. A manager is, well, what we need to do is this. The reason we're doing this is because this. And a manager won't ask a subordinate to do something that he wouldn't. A boss would.
That's right.
A boss would.
That's right.
And it sounds like you've been mentored by Dick Gregory. Come on.
Dick Gregory, we traveled to, when I was working with SCLC as a youth coordinator, I ended up serving on their advanced team, and I traveled to 28 cities with them, from Memphis to Mississippi and Alabama in 1988. What it taught me was these legends were right there. You know, Ben Hooks was right there. Reverend Abernathy was right there. This was post-civil rights. And so they told me how to lead. They would always call you leader. And I said, what are you calling me a leader for? But they were calling you.
They saw it.
You see what I'm saying? But you had to serve. You had to set up those chairs. You had to carry the water. You had to.
And want to do it too, right? Like that. Just wanting to show hospitality is how you do it. Because people could tell when you really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We getting ready to set up.
Yeah.
Or we getting ready to set up. All right, where you need me at? Okay, I'm finished with that. What you need me to do? You know.
Well, they taught me. They taught me how to stay in my lane, and I want people to hear that. You've got to be able to stay in your lane. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't be at the top. Sometimes you got to be able to serve to the bottom so you can rise to the top. And that's what they taught me, man. They taught me how to be humble. To be with Mrs. Coretta Scott King. When I met my wife years ago, probably 29 years ago, we've been married. When I met her, I took her to New Orleans to a SCLC convention. I go to the convention. We need something to eat. In New Orleans, all they had is red beans, rice, and sausage. Everywhere we went, red beans, rice, sausage. Listen, we want some food.
Right.
So we get in the cab to go get something to eat. Chinese restaurant. We go back and we didn't have Uber back then. I'm letting y'all know we had a cab.
A taxi.
Cab. And so we go in this taxi cab, and when we come back to the hotel, the driver says, "I'm not going to charge y'all for waiting on the food." It's like, man, this guy's nice. He'll wait on us and not charge us. When we get back to the hotel, it's a different experience. He wanted to charge us $100 and something. I'm in the cab with my future wife, and I'm letting you know, I'm just cursing him out.
Right.
All of a sudden, on the windshield, somebody's knocking on the windshield. It was Coretta Scott King. Mrs. King said, "Roll the window down." I'm like, "No, you don't tell me." Roll the window down. And she taught me something. But Miss King, he was trying to take advantage of us. She pulled out her little purse. How much is the, but Miss King, she paid the fee. And she says, "Son, come here. I hear what you say, but I don't see what you do." And I learned that for the rest of my life. I hear what you say. I hear you talking about you want to be a leader. I hear you talking about you want to, but I don't see what you do.
Man, to have somebody of that stature, I mean, I personally couldn't even imagine her talking to me, but to have somebody of that stature give you that jewel at that time. So prior to that, you knew you met with her.
When I became a student at Morris Brown, became freshman class president, it afforded me the opportunities to be Jesse Jackson's youth coordinator. Reverend Hosea Williams was running for Congress. I met him. He became my lifelong mentor. And Mabel Thomas, who was running for state representative. At that time, I met the president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Dr. Joseph Lowry. And that's how I met Ms. King. because that was Dr. King's organization.
So how was that feeling when to get that tap into for her to say, listen, I hear what you're saying, but I don't see what you're doing or whatever. How was what did give me one word that expressed that experience with you? One word, just one word.
Like on the cartoon Bugs Bunny, a cartoon when you were a heel, you just slid down into the chair and your head became a ham. Like, oh my God, what have I just done? And I humbled myself. There was nothing that I had to say, and that changed my life because I took that, and for the rest of my life I held on to it. She always said, not only I hear what you say, but I don't see what you do. But be a man. You got to walk humble and serve. Because of that, I became a very good friend still to this day of the King family. Many people know I bought Dr. King's sister-in-law, Naomi King, who just passed away. Isaac Ferris, her nephew, is one of my best friends, Isaac Ferris. And so I'm very close to the King family.
Oh, that is huge. Yeah. Again, somebody from Hazard County having the opportunity to say, factually, I know these people. It's not that just I've seen them before. Like I said earlier, it's not like I just seen them before. I know these people. That is huge.
Yeah, God gives you opportunities, right?
Right.
And so you've seen it. Look at what you've done and what you're doing. You're making an impact, and people follow you. I mean, and then when you come, I watch you walk into places. Your humbleness. You're like, hey, they like that's clever, and you're going over there making them feel comfortable when they feel uncomfortable to be around what they deem celebrity. You get what I'm saying? Right. So kudos to you.
Man, for me, I just feel like when people ask, can I get a picture with you? I said, I'm not doing you a favor. You're doing me can I get the picture with you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they don't have to like me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like if you are to whom much is given,
much is
much is required. And I appreciate the support from people. Listen, you have no idea, man. I appreciate it. And you gotta be humble, man. You gotta be humble. You gotta be smart enough to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are not smart enough to be humble. Some people
think they're all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah,
man.
all that and chips.
Yeah.
But you got to be smart enough to be humble, man. So let's get into a little bit of Candy Love.
Uh-oh. That's a word. I got to leave. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching, tuning in. See you later.
Thank you for coming. God bless. Good night. So Candy Love, for the people that don't know, I'm going to tell you that Candy Love was some young guys in our community that got together and was doing raps and just like they were rap activists, if you will. They was doing a whole bunch of stuff in the community, stop the violence type stuff. And if I'm correct, you were the founder of this?
So there were two groups.
Okay.
There was the Love Rap crew.
Okay.
And there was Candy Rappers.
Okay.
We were, myself and Darren Gale were the Love Rap crew. We just, we were just Love Rap crew folk.
Okay.
And so we said, while we battling, why don't we come together?
Unity.
And we formed Candy
Love. How many people was in Candy Love?
There were 4 original members.
All right. So, do you remember any of your stuff from Candy Love?
Man, I'm always hip hop. Hip hop is the way
let us hear something. What year was Candy Love?
So Candy Love was in the Cure, I think in the 1991.
Yeah.
And so when we formed, when I came back from Morris Brown, I told him, I said, we had the group in high school.
Right.
But there were 2 groups, and we came together.
And they wouldn't even put me in. I was like,
you would have just been the boss, the boss. But when we came back, I said, we can do this, but we're going to do it professionally. We're going to go in a recording studio, and we're going to have a message, and we're going to do something on a professional level. That's my only way that I'll do it. And so we came together. What they didn't understand, we had a guy from Savannah named Joe Meacham, who was a promoter, right from Tatumville. And Joe did all the concerts. You remember when concerts used to come every Thursday night?
Concerts used to come.
every week at the Civic
Yeah.
Center. So there was a local group, Joe Meacham, RD, and Ronald Williams and Tamp, Herbert Williams. They all would put together the concerts. That's why we had local promoters bringing big concerts every Thursday
To the city.
to the city. Every Thursday night, major concert at the Civic Center. So Joe, because Joe was an advanced man, if you've ever heard of Universal Soul Circus, Ricky Walker is the owner of that. Because Joe was the advanced man for Ricky Walker's events, he managed Candy Love. He put us on the tours with Salt and Pepper, Heavy D, the Boogie Boys,
Come on.
Dana Dane, the LA Dream Team, Joski Love, Rappin' Duke, EU. We did everybody because Joe Meacham was hooked up with Ricky Walker, who Ricky did the tours with us the whole time. And then he said, man, I think I want to do a black circus. We said, black circus? You crazy? Now it becomes Universal Soul Circus.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, going over doing your tours with the people that you met with and that you was touring on with tell me one of the craziest experiences or craziest things that you could remember that happened on tour with any particular person. Who was the wildest person that you encountered on this trip?
We went on the tour with they were family, Houdini, UTFO, and this other group, Whistle. All of them were family,
right?
Because they all were dancers, and they and so we went on this tour from Savannah, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Knoxville, all that. And when we got there, there were a hotel full of girls, women, and all that. And the carpet they were laid out all the way down the hallway. You had to walk over bodies. There were groupies. And so Whistle and UTFO, we thought we were going on tour with New Edition and the Fat Boys because we had just done that tour. We get out, isn't that UTFO? And so UTFO and Houdini, it was Whistle, one of the craziest groups I've ever seen with their posture off stage. They were just wow.
Really?
My other experience was one of the most humble persons was Heavy D. He would not go in a limousine to the show. He walked to the show.
From the hotel?
From the hotel. He walked to the show from Mount Vernon, my boy. And he gave us, back then there was a stereotype because we met Salt and Pepper. They didn't like us because we were from the South. And there was nobody else doing anything from the South. I want to make this known that there was no Goody Mob. There was no Arrested Development and all the above. There was just Uncle Luke on the bottom of the floor. There was no one in the South.
No T.I.s and Luders and all that.
So we call ourselves the Southeastern Kings of Rap because there was no one that had toured. And so Heavy D, with Salt and Pepper and all of them found out that we were from the South, they didn't give us any respect. Heavy D would invite us to his parties and all the above. Wow. And we became very close with him. And that gave us the respect with all those northern groups, from Tommy Boy to Def Jam to all the above.
Okay, here's the situation. Idiocy, nonsense, violence, not a good policy. Therefore, we must ignore fighting and fussing. When Heavy's at the door, there'll be no bum rushing.
Come on, man.
Come on. That's Heavy D.
That's Heavy D.
Let's get it together because we're falling apart. Heard a brother shot another. It broke my heart.
Come on now.
I don't understand the difficulties, people. Love your brother. Treat him as an equal. They call us animals. I don't agree with them. I proved them wrong. But right is what you prove. Come on, man.
Come on, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, the message. The message is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
David was the first hip-hop artist. David wrote raps. He wrote songs. He danced out of his clothes.
Okay.
Hip-hop is a way of life, right?
Facts.
So we did what we did as a way of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I explain to people all the time when we talk about rap, I feel, and this is just these views are not for everybody. It's just my view. I think today's artists are rappers, and we're from the era of hip hop.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
And you had to earn an MC title.
You had to earn. You can't just walk up there and get it.
No, I was MC Christian Ice, the Master Innovator, the Prince of Advice, the Bebop, Hop Rock, Scott, non-new breeder, the 21st century's all-time new leader. Other rappers like the Bob, the Dang, that sound good to them, but that ain't my thing. Whatever I do, you got to have Christ, the Master Innovator, the Prince of Advice. Our people fight against one another. Maybe one day they will discover others lost their life so we can gain. Throw away their lives on crack cocaine. Release the grip and then you will be free. Get a taste of this capitalist society. Whatever you do, don't give up the fight. Stand up and fight for what's right. Our prophecy, helter skelter, war between blacks and white was done in the dark, brought in the light, bringing an end to this kind of mentality. We are who we are. That's why I'm proud to be black, y'all. Don't let no one fool you. Because if you do, then more power to you. Whatever you do, don't give up the fight. Stand up and fight for what's right.
Listen, that's when words have like it has a meaning. It's not just 3 minutes of bat, rat, cat, trap, mat. It's meaning.
Yeah.
And I love it, man.
It's power. It's power in the music, man.
I love it. I love it. So when so growing up, we talked about you going to Atlanta, about you going to college, about you meeting these people for as mentor. How was that transition to come back into Savannah and actually be boots on the ground level activists, ground level making stuff happen, ground level, listen, Mr. Mayor, listen, Mr. Governor, listen, whoever, this is what we need to do, this is who I am, and this is what I think how was that process?
Well, you knew we were over there on Price Street. We started out as Candy Love, then we formed an
Price
organization.
37?
That's right.
Sala?
That's right.
Yeah.
We formed, and we didn't have funding for that. We used to, we used to stand on the corners and raise money.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we got the money to fund that office. Then we started an organization called Project Love and then Operation Love, focused on youth programs. I got tired of going to adults, man, and I was saying we have nowhere to go and nothing to do. White children were having their own teen clubs. We didn't have our own teen club. We needed something to do. We kept going to the leaders, and they weren't listening. Back then, I started the prayer vigils for stopping the violence. Every time there was a murder, I started the prayer vigils. I got tired of the prayer vigils. You know why? Because what we've done is commercialize it. We got to have the T-shirts for my loved ones. We got to do our libations and over our homies and all this stuff. But we lost the concept of what the prayer vigils were. Prayer vigils were somebody lost a life. We're praying for that family, and we're praying that justice be done. So we just stopped. We got no support from the adults. I'm just letting you know. So we just started as young people coming together, saying we're gonna make a difference, and we're gonna use what we got.
Man, and you used it well. You are a huge part of the youth, the hunger. Excuse me, feeding the hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So how did that come about?
You know, in Hazard County, when Andre Robinson ate or the Nicholson family ate, we ate. On Hazard County, when you ate on 33rd or 31st, everybody ate.
Right.
You never had to worry about eating. And then when you didn't have, as far as family, your next door neighbor, your mom called him and said, give Carl a quarter, give him a nickel.
It was a village.
It was a village. So what happened is we've lost the village. In 2009, I was working at the Baden organization. I was number 3 out of 10 dealerships. I was one of the managers, internet manager. I was probably on course to become salesman of the year. The recession hit. I went from making 6 figures to no figures. And they told me a word that we have to change in Georgia. We no longer need your services. They fired 28 of us who were making money. They fired 28 of us 2 weeks before Christmas. I just bought a house. I just bought a car. And when I got to the point right before the holidays, when I looked at my refrigerator, we had 2 pieces of bread and 1 piece of bologna. That stuck with me. We gave up our house that we just bought. We gave up my car. And we left out of Southside Savannah in a 15-passenger van going into Garden City. And then God has the audacity to say to me, you've been talking all this talk, Carl, about feeding the people. You've been talking all this talk about helping the people. I need you to feed my people. I was like, now? I don't have nothing. And so
feed my people.
Feed my people. And so we started Feed the Hungry from a vision. Here's the thing. You got glasses and I got glasses. If I put on your glasses, I might not be able to see the same things you see.
Facts.
So if I write the vision and make it plain, though the vision may tarry, it will come to pass. If you don't have vision, you can't have provision.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the vision for Feed the Hungry. And I said, okay, I'm going to write it. We didn't know what we were doing. We were getting produce. We didn't know. We didn't have a place to freeze it or keep it. So we had to learn. We're throwing away bulks of food. What God said is, time you get it in your hand, let it back out. Time we get the produce, give it right back out. So in 2009, we started Feed the Hungry with 2 pieces of bread and a piece of bologna, that mindset. Now we 1.5 million servings later.
How many?
1.5 million servings later.
1.5 million.
And the largest sit-down dinners in the nation.
Come
In
on,
14
man.
cities we have served in South Carolina and Georgia. And we don't wait. We just believe. Let me tell you something. Same thing my mom taught me about partnerships, about relationships and how valuable they were. We use those same principles.
Yeah. But those principles are lifelong principles. I mean, they get us, through school and through pretty much relationship type stuff when we're growing. But those are lifelong principles.
Yes.
Those are things that once they give you that jewel, just polish it off a little bit because you're going.
And you got life and death is in the power of the tongue. Look at this recent hurricane. We didn't wait for people. We knew our people needed.
Right.
So we fed them. We did 3 gas giveaways. Did we have the money to give gas giveaways? No, but we made some calls.
Right.
The relationships.
There you go. Your network.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a strong network is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go from so the transition from state representative to the leader, to being the current chair of the largest Black caucus in Georgia. How was that transition, or was it vice versa?
In 2016, I got, like Fannie Lou Hamer talked about being tired of being tired.
Listen, I listened to Sirius XM Radio and
Joe Madison, the Black Eagle.
The Black Eagle.
Yes.
I even put that in one of my raps. Joe Madison's the Black Eagle.
Yeah.
But he plays that Fannie Lou Hamer piece. God rest in peace, Joe. But he played that Fannie Lou Hamer piece, and that's how I even ever heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you get tired of being tired, man.
Get tired of being tired.
And you get tired of people that don't the Doubting Thomases. They ain't gonna never change. I don't know why we doing this.
Man, if I had one nickel for every time I heard a young cat say that,
I ain't voting.
Ain't gonna make no sense.
I ain't made no sense. They gonna do what they want to do anyway.
It's already premeditated. They already got it in advance.
Fannie Lou Hamer got tired of being tired. And in 2016, I was running Feed the Hungry. I wasn't messing with anybody. I heard, that former state representative Bob Bryant had been sick. They came to me the week that he died. Several leaders from different mayors and municipalities. You got to run. I was like, nah, I don't want to run. They came to me for 3 days and said, would you run? I said, nah, I'm not interested. Because I felt you didn't need a name tag. I've already been doing the work.
Right.
What I need a name tag for? And so then I told my family, and I said, they want me to run. And so 3 days later, I came back and said, I'm not going to run. My family said, you crazy, we ready. And so that was the validation that, okay, God, if I'm going to do this, then you're going to have to walk with me.
Like you was talking about with the music, we're going to do it. Let's do it professionally,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And one of the differences, I'm guessing, is that name tag could get you indoors where the work you was doing wouldn't got you through that door. But having that name tag, it'll get you through that door.
Revolution is when you throw rocks from the outside. They ain't doing nothing. I'm sick and tired of what they're doing. Evolution is when you get on the inside.
Come on.
Stacey Abrams told me in my freshman year something that stuck with me. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And that's what's happening.
Wow.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
If you are not at the table,
they're going to be talking about you at dinner. They're going to be eating you. They're going to be talking about how they can make more money off you. Misery loves company, all the above. But if you're right there at the table, you can be a part of the inside and make a change from the inside.
Man, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yeah.
Man, that's huge.
And so when I ran. I said, we're going to win. And we won. But when I got in there, they tell me, you're a Democrat. You're in the minority. You'll never get these bills. We proved them differently. We got mammoth legislation, the Ahmaud Arbery bill. I wrote the Citizen Arrest Repeal to repeal that law. We got bills passed for the blind citizens to be parents. We got more bills passed as the only Democrat in the House of the Senate got more bills passed than anybody.
We got to salute that, man. We got to salute that. That's huge.
Yeah.
See, people wouldn't know that just walking past you in the grocery store.
Nah, because I be trying to look for them pork chops and crackling cornbread, you know.
So, is what would be the differences in being on the Black Caucus, being the state representative? Like, what are the different duties that you would that goes with those?
So, as a state representative or a senator, you serve your district. But, my theme was there are no boundaries to representation. So, I'm serving Georgia. I'm serving everybody. You serve your constituents. You balance budgets. You vote for budgets. You vote for bills. You propose bills. You propose laws. But as the chair of the largest Black caucus in the world, we have 74 senators and state reps. So I have jurisdiction over the House chambers and the Senate chambers. When it comes to those numbers, whether it's the Republicans or anybody, if they have a bill, they're going to have to talk to us because they don't have the numbers that we do. We got so many numbers in the House and the Senate, and they're going to need those numbers to pass that bill. The other thing is we have influence for over 3 million people in the state of Georgia that we represent. Think about this election now. We represent over 3 million people. The average election that they have in Georgia would probably be about 7 million people. So we represent almost half of the people in Georgia that they have to talk to the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, 74 state reps and senators. The influence, not only Black people, but people that are brown and underserved. So we represent those that are poor white folk too, poor Chinese folk too, working poor that we represent. I travel all over the state of Georgia to, we have 159 municipalities, but I travel to those areas to meet those people where they are. We've dealt with the Black farmers where they have not given them support. We have done the college tour for HBCUs, for the people tours all over the state. And even in this election, we have come up to say that you got to meet the people where they're at.
Man. So with that being said, segue into this election. What do you want? What is necessary for people to know, or what jewels would you give people, or nuggets would you drop for people to help them understand how important this election is?
Here's a Candy Love 101. Candy Love wrote this rap, this PSA. Give us the vote and we will change the course of this nation. Dr. King had a dream to do it through voter registration. Take it from Candy Love and listen to this note. If you're 18 years or older, you got to register and vote. You've got to register. Hands that pick on cannot pick leader. I mean, you can't sit back and say, they ain't doing nothing. You've got to be a part of your vote. Your vote is your voice. If you don't have a vote, you don't have a voice. They're never going to change reentry if you don't get involved. If you are a returning citizen and you want your rights restored, vote for people that have your platform. You know what the minimum wage in Georgia is?
$7.25.
$5.15.
$5.15.
The one of the lowest rates for people getting paid. And so the livable wage now needs to be almost $20 to some degree. So if you want that change, you got to go register and vote. You got women that are going into having babies. I remember, when my wife when she had our children, being there. And then after that, they kick them out the hospital. You got to go home real quick.
3 days, 2 days.
Women are dying from having babies. And then now you want to tell women what to do with their bodies. I mean, so why should you register to vote? Then Black men are not being heard. We got mental health too.
Yeah.
Okay, who's representing us? You have to look at those things and not just say, well, I don't know her and she ain't did nothing. You got to be able to examine the candidates. Here's where I stand. Can I just say where I stand?
Please, because I don't mind telling you where I stand.
Where I stand is, I'm tired of being tired. We had over 1 million people die from COVID. We had a president that was in office that didn't even know how to address COVID. Over 1 million people died.
Well, if you inject some bleach, I think.
Yeah. If you don't know, then you find out from the experts. And so then you have a president coming in. He had to deal with COVID. He had, and many people say, well, he gave me a check for $750. Yes, he did. But when and I'm not campaigning for Biden, but I'm saying when the facts are the facts. When he came in, he gave all y'all checks. Y'all had so many checks. I was going to Ruth Chris, and I seen everybody. I seen Pookie Kwan, Boquisha, everybody. You get what I'm saying? But here's my point. It's not about Democrat, Republican, because let me tell you this. African Americans were Republicans before they were Democrats. They were
Facts.
Frederick Douglass Republicans.
Facts.
Now, but at the same time, it's not about the party. It's about the person. I get legislation passed, not because I'm a Democrat, but because I believe that this is a good bill. And so when I speak truth to power, I said, Mr. Governor, they got these blind citizens. They're trying to have a family, and y'all want to let these blind citizens become parents. So I wrote the blind bill. And I said, Mr. Governor, this is Georgia's bill. I had to get Democrats and Republicans from the House and the Senate to pass that. And then you have to get the governor to still sign it without vetoing it. So I just got a bill called the Weeping Times Heritage Corridor, where in 1859, over 429 slaves right here in Savannah, the largest slave sale, it was in Savannah, Georgia. So when you wonder why they're fighting over Weeping Times, why they're fighting over West Savannah and Hudson Hill, where the location was, because that's history. So I got the bill passed that neutralizes the fight. I neutralized it by passing the bill, said none of y'all Negroes got to fight. Y'all can come together and recognize this rich heritage, black and white, and we can celebrate it. The Gullah Geechee Society, to preserve the history.
Right.
All these things. So my point of everybody that's talking about this election, if you stay home, you're going to wake up into a new world that you don't want. Authoritative government, somebody that's trying to, Haitians and Hispanic folk, a massive importation on day one. Are you listening to what's going on?
Constitution.
Yeah.
Education.
So it's not about hating that person. It's about, are you listening to what he's saying?
Yeah. Ideologies.
Right. So yeah, but we got to elect people from the local standpoint,
which a lot of people don't understand is more important than, I mean, I look at it like a foundation of a house. Local would be the ground, the concrete. If that is not strong, then once you build all of this stuff, it's just gonna fall. You got to have a foundation.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand that is more important. Can you help people understand how important that is?
So Clever D. When we were growing up, we had conjunction, junction. What's your function? And then we had I'm just a bill. Just only a bill. Come on now.
And I'm
sitting here on Capitol Hill. We had Civics 101. Thank God for cartoon.
Man,
Saturday morning.
Listen.
You
just took us back.
Come on, man.
Do you remember that stuff? Oh.
So watch this. When I give one of these elaborate speeches, and when I get to saying, we the people, in order to establish a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare of, ensure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. They say, oh my God, it's just really good. No, conjunction, junction.
One time for conjunction, junction.
Come on now, that's how I learned
listen.
it.
Oh man, reading Rainbow like that.
Come on, man.
That was, and you never thought Saturday back in 86, watching that stuff, you never thought that it would work.
What you had to
use
do?
it.
You had to watch that. Then you had your chores and all that stuff.
Then you can go outside.
Yeah. You had to be on before the street lights came on.
You try to stay home. You try to come home after the street lights.
Come on, man.
You know what's happening.
You see what I'm saying? But all the local politics. You got the Chatham. You got the county commission. You got the school board. You got the city of Savannah. The city of Savannah has nothing to do with the role of the county. The county and all of them have their own roles. You got the municipalities of Thunderbolt, Pooler, Tybee, Port Wentworth, city of Savannah. So the chairman of the county commission is different than the mayor, but he's equivalent to the county.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But they're one vote. So when all the folk be talking about, well, the mayor ain't doing nothing. He is one person. He's the visionary or she's the visionary for the city, but they carry one vote. They have to get an additional 4 votes to get a majority to get anything passed.
Right.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So then you got the state representatives, the senators. Now then you got the Speaker of the House. You got the Speaker pro tem of the Senate, lieutenant governors. You got constitutional officers like the labor commissioner, agriculture commissioner, all the way up to the governor. So if you go to that ballot in this presidential race and you just voting for the president, you're voting for state representatives, senators, county commissioners, school board members, and you got amendments on the ballot. If you don't read the amendment, you can vote for anything.
Yeah, because the amendment, sometimes those are the trick lines. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How do you feel about adding $5 to the budget for the children? Oh, I think that's good. Oh, you just raised the millage 5 points. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I remember reading one day, and it was like something happened pertaining to like alcohol on Sundays, and I was like,
Yeah.
I get on my alcohol on the weekends. So
There you go. There you go. There you go.
straight.
There you go. But if you don't read, the Bible says study to show yourself approved. If you don't read in advance, before you go to that poll, you remember back in the day when I was passing out flyers for candidates, they had all these preachers and all these elected officials, and they say vote for so and so.
Right.
Now here's my thing: if Jeffrey Dahmer were on the ballot, and you had Hitler as a Democrat and Jeffrey Dahmer as a Republican, which one would you vote for? I wouldn't vote for none of them.
Right.
So you got to know who you're voting for.
Yeah. That's facts.
Yeah. I mean, just don't, if people stay home, Chatham County is the majority Democrat and African American. In order for someone in the county to be chairman, it's got to be the majority African American. Same thing for everything from the mayor to anything. But here's the thing. If young people stay home in this election, whether they're black, white, Vietnamese, Hispanic, you're cheating yourself. You got to have a voice.
Yeah, and so I was talking to a young guy, and I said, man, you got to make sure that you get out and vote. He was like, same thing. Man, that don't matter to me. I said, well, let's think about this. This election could determine how much you have to pay for childcare. This election could determine how much your grandmother get on Social Security.
That's right.
This election could determine whether your parents get to stay in that house that is government subsidized. So maybe
you need to vote.
Maybe you don't see it that it's directly for you, but when it comes down to your child care or where your child could go, or even if they're gonna pay for whatever, that has something to do with you, right? So
That's right.
you gotta like think outside the box on that. Sometimes it's not about where you are right now; it's about the possibility of where you could be.
That's right.
And
I represent the street committee. I'm sorry, that's my committee. I represent the street committee. I'll tell you a story. When I first ran for office, I was on Augusta Avenue, and one Saturday we were getting ready to canvass, and all these cars started coming up, and you could just hear the doors slamming. When they got out, true story, they were from the streets. There were over 200 people that were associated with a certain element.
Right.
And I didn't know what they said. You called Gilliard? And I said, yeah. What you doing? I said, I'm campaigning. I'm running for state rep. That's your sign? I had a big banner, like a big 12 by something. I said, yeah. They said, give me the banner. I said, okay. You got flyers? Yeah, give me the flyers. They were from the streets. They took my signs, they took my flyers, and they canvassed for me. They walked down the streets of West Savannah. Some of those brothers who were in the gang that never voted in their life registered to vote. And I got pictures where they voted for me. I got a picture when they walked down the street with the banner. They had never got into the game to vote.
Again, that shows the individual you are, right? Because, when it has to do with neighborhoods, a lot of people don't want you in their neighborhoods if you're not from their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody to never have voted before, somebody never who got into it and was like, oh man, we representing you. Let's go. Give us the stuff.
Yep.
You got the army, a built-in army already of people. So that shows that people were ready for a change. They were ready for something different, and they saw that something different in you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm obligated to them. That's why, those are the unsung heroes that helped get me elected. Those are the people, the seniors in West Savannah, the ones that say, I got to go back again, baby, one more time. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jones, one more time.
One more time, Ms.
Yeah.
Jones.
And that's where we're at, man. This election is so important, not for Carl Gilliard. It's important because if we want to change the course of this nation, we gotta get it back. I hear some people saying we got to take back our country. No, we got to take back values. We got to take back relationships. We got to take back not preaching all this hate. Black Eyed Peas says, "Where is the love?" That's one of my favorite songs. What's wrong with the world today? You know,
Yeah,
Candy Love said, "What the world needs now is love." You know, so what happened to the love?
man. Commissioned the group John P. Key from.
Mm-hmm.
John P. Key came from said, "Love ain't love till you give it away."
Come on
It
now.
ain't love till you. It's just a
Come
word.
on.
It's just something. It ain't love until you give it away.
That's right.
And so people, we need to do better as a people, most definitely.
Yeah.
Looking back, just going back, from your life with the Candy Love group and just that section of life, what is one of the things that you think you brought from that moment or from that time to where you are now? Like, what is at least one of the things that you brought from you? Would it be keeping that family circle, or was it a lesson that happened during that time and you like, you know what? That was a jewel lesson for me. So anything, can you talk about that?
I think we were before our time.
Okay.
I think everything we did was before our time. I think the message was before. It's prophetic. Everything we've been putting out was prophetic. We had the best group of guys. We never argued. We never fought. We people took advantage of us, and we have the original members were Darren Gale and Patrick James and Ron Singleton and myself, and then we had Big Lonnie. And people
I
didn't even
remember
know.
Big Lonnie.
Yeah, Big Lonnie became a member of the group. So
Yeah.
so when you have those, though, we were good guys from good neighborhoods, from good families, And what I remember is that we just were before our time. The stuff we talked about is happening now. The same stuff we talked about. We talked about stopping the violence. We talked about voter registration. When Nelson Mandela was locked up, we talked about freeing Mandela. Take my people out the cell. The color is black, not yellow. Reese, my brother, free Mandela. So we were very prophetic. And so what it taught me is that I still am hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna give the message. And a lot of times, Clever D, people think you're speaking. I'm rapping, and they'll say, "Oh my God, he's just so profound." I mean, my goodness, never heard anybody speak like him. Oh my God, I'm just being hip hop.
Just hip hop, man.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a language of its own self.
Yeah.
It's a language of itself.
Yeah, you can't stop hip hop, man.
Can't stop hip hop, man.
Yeah.
I'm hip hop. I fell in love with hip hop when I heard Lottie Dottie.
Come on, man. Relax,
Slick Rick. We don't cause trouble and we don't bother nobody.
Come on, man.
So because of that, the Slick Rick, I pretty much I became a storyteller.
Yeah.
Cause Slick Rick is a storyteller. So, and I'm hip hop. I am hip hop. I'm not rap. I'm not trap. I'm hip hop.
And they listen to you with the jingle, even when you say, "Do yourself a favor and listen to me."
Yeah.
Okay, people are saying, "Okay, I'm listening to him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call this number." You know why? Because Clever D told me to do that.
Yeah, man. I have a lot of fun with it, man. I'm able to sometimes just, go in and sometimes people stop me like, "Do you really rap?" Because they don't know. If you didn't know that I rap, you wouldn't know that I rap. You just see the commercials and just be like, so I had to tell them sometimes. My friends called me clever because they said I was gifted. I never thought it was better, just always knew it was different. I couldn't hide in the crowd, trust there's no doubt. See, I tried it a few times, but it didn't work out. More bars in the prison, it's just the way that I'm living. I'm taking my opposition and making them sit and listen. Got a problem with clever, don't be a coward, just say that. But don't be talking reckless on tracks, I'm not going to play that. I hit them in the head with my verses and make them lay back because I bought my vowels from Vanna, the next Pat. Not to say Jack. Clever. Oh. But normally I say it like this. Friends call me clever because I said I was gifted. I never thought it was better. Just always knew it was different. And I had to cry, trust there's no doubt. When I try to finance well, stand out more bars in the prison, just the way I'm living and taking my opposition and make you listen. Got a problem with clever. Don't be a coward to say that. But don't be talking reckless on tracks. I'm not gonna play that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Teach.
No, man. So, but listen, man. It's just let's get back into this. You making me get on to more music.
Yeah, man. That's
stuff
good. I love the music, man. I can't stop the music.
Okay, so what is your vision for 162? What is your vision for 162 for the next 2 to 4 years?
When I saw a young lady growing up in Savannah. People don't know I was Camouflage's uh, first manager when he was in the group called Short Impact.
Okay.
Never his daughter. I never knew. She never knew that.
She's a beast.
When she wanted to volunteer one day for Feed the Hungry. I met her. I never told her who I was. We let her volunteer. She came back again, and I began to tell her the story. We've been locked ever since. In District 162, when they redistrict, and people got to understand, every 10 years they redistrict, the districts change.
Okay.
So I'm on the reapportionment committee. Every 10 years, it just redrawn. The maps are redrawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it drawn to make bigger? Is it drawn to make smaller? Is it drawn to give new leadership to the same
It's a
place?
combination of the census, because when they do the census, the numbers change, the demographics change from black, white to male to female. So the districts have to be redrawn because growth will probably have happened since 10 years ago.
Right.
So Garden City has about 11,000 people. In the next 10 years, it probably will have 20,000. So you got to redraw the maps. So my district was moved. I'm not just Garden City. I'm in the back part of Garden City, but I do Bamboo Farms. Southside Savannah is my heart. My heartthrob from Georgetown, all the above. I'm Southside.
I see the signs in Georgetown, on
hey.
Chevis, and Wild Heron, and I can't wait for my sign.
Hey, you got.
But I see the signs there, and every time I see it, I glow, man, because I know from whence you came.
Yeah, and going back to the street committee, you gotta take it from the bottom. You got to campaign, and so 162, the military. I represent the military. There are a lot of people, over 60,000 people, plus 70-something thousand people that I represent that are demographically black, white, Vietnamese, Hispanic, male, female, young, older. I want to see more growth out Southside. I want to see more businesses. I want to see the housing. The thing is, I represent the street committee, and the rent is too damn high.
Too damn high.
Yeah, and so pastors, damn is damnations in the Bible. I'm just so. But the guy who made and branded that, he was right on it, because the average rent is about $2,300 a month.
How does that even make sense when the average rent is 22 to 23, but minimum wage
is $5.15,
and the average salary is probably 27 to 32, maybe?
Maybe if you're on a good day. And after taxation without representation, you're not taking home that. And so it just doesn't add up. And the new thing with housing, so housing isn't going to be my focus in this upcoming 2 sessions. We got to do better. What I propose is not just beating up the landlords. We're getting ready to revolutionize housing. We're going to have some houses we can build and sell for $200,000. So I've gotten 262 people in houses through the Georgia Dream Program. We give them $12,000 to $15,000 down payment. Now, what I did,
while you right there, is how would somebody go by applying or getting with the Georgia Dream Bill?
So what I've done is bring the state to the people. Even this Saturday, we'll be at Savannah Technical College with the 5th. I think this is our 6th event called "Come Get Your Keys." I'm bringing it to the people. I'm bringing the Georgia Dream Program to the people. I'm bringing the state to them. They can apply online through Georgia Dream. They can get up to $12,000 from the state. They can get up to $30,000 from the city. You add 30 plus 12,000, that's $42,000 down payment.
Of a $200,000 house, that's 25% almost.
Your mortgage is going to be less than what you was paying for your rent. Make sense?
Right. And with those kind of programs, is it a situation where you have to be in a certain particular place? Because when I went to look for a home some years ago, I remember them saying, well, we can give you this program and you can get this much off, but you got to live here. Or you got to live here.
As long as you're in Chatham County with the state, you're good.
Okay.
So Chatham County, period. With the city of Savannah, they have areas within the city. I mean, I'm not saying areas, but through the city of Savannah. So if you go in Pooler, it might not apply. Right. Because that program, the Dream Maker, is from the city of Savannah.
Okay, gotcha.
But you got other companies and other banks and the lending institutions that do down payment assistance. What we do, someone comes in trying to do a conventional loan and they don't have the score, the FHA, you can do a 574 and they'll finance you as long as you have 2 years of work and your taxes. So we've got 262 people in 2 homes. 262.
Tell them how many people you got.
We have, in the last 8 years of my being in office, we've got 262. We moved them from renting to owning homes and giving them down payment assistance.
Owners. People just don't know how much work is really being done on the back end to try to make that forward, just because they don't see it now, because it's not in your face right now, because you can't just buy a house anywhere for 200,000 plus get those things,
Right.
without you guys doing the working. So man, that's huge.
It goes back to studying to show yourself approved, and listening. So this podcast is going to bring information to the people. We don't have we talked about this earlier. We don't have the airways that we need. So I'm going to encourage everybody. You need to share this, to share this, to share this.
Please share.
And share this so other people can get the information.
The Clever Conversation Podcast. The Clever Conversations with the S podcast.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man. So anything else going on like in politics or in the world, that any jewels you want to give us, any insight you want to give to the people, let the people know. I said earlier, because I know you, I can make a phone call to you. Hey, brother, da 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 da. You'll give me a jewel. I've called you before and said, hey, what about this, and so is there anything, anything coming up, or anything that we should be doing, or just anything for the people, man? Let us know. Is there anything that we need to be focused on right now?
I mentioned Flagey earlier because my whole focus is naming it and claiming it. So I named the highway after Flagey Johnson.
Come on.
I named the highway after Mayor Floyd Adams, former state representative Bobby Hill, band director Lawrence Hutchins. You will be seeing in this session, I'm going to name 3 more individuals that we need to have streets that look like us. We need to be included, inclusion. We need to have more, I'm just going to say it, Black millionaires. Watch this. We're number 2 in feature film in Savannah, in the nation.
Mayor Van Johnson mentioned that.
We're number 2 in feature film. We are the 2nd destination for the world in dealing with the ports. Tourism is 16.5 million people. If we are the majority in this city, we should have millionaires that look like us. I'm going to say it again. If we're the majority in this city, I didn't say we should have all, but we should have more millionaires. So the businesses, the tourism, the port. I want to start, instead of people working in warehouses, I want to hear about brothers owning and sisters owning warehouses.
Claim it.
Because the temp agencies can't get people to work. They don't have the street committee credentials. So imagine if someone that just came home, a returning citizen that has a pass, would be able to say, I can't get a job. Well, we want to show you how to get a Dun and Bradstreet number and get your credit in a score of an 80 in 45 days and be able to get you some financing to build a fabricated warehouse and own a logistic company. That's what I want to see in District 162. We need a regional recreation center because there's nothing for the people on South Side.
I agree.
So that's being worked. That's work. We're working on that. Now, not through the city. It's partnerships. It's, hey, Flagey, I need you. Hey, Alderman so-and-so, County Commissioner so-and-so. If all of us get together.
Clever.
All of us get together.
I'm there.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Clever D.
I'm there.
You get what I'm saying? You remember the movie Soul Food, right?
Of course.
Because we love soul food. So
do it look like I don't?
Man, let me tell you something. I got some fried, some. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got mixed up, man. I'm thinking about the roster pasta over there. I'm sorry, but she said in the movie, when you take these fingers and ball them up into a fist, they can strike a mighty blow. Come on now, this family has got to be this fist. So why are we divided? That's my big thing. I just want to leave. Why are we divided in a city where if we don't stick together, we get stuck together? So let's fight for what's right to self-destruct together. Why are we so divided? If this elected official is not talking to this elected official and this leader is not talking to this leader, but we're telling people to come together, why should we come together if the leadership's not come together?
The head's not even coming together.
Come on. So that's my message, is to push, because I'm one that I can get almost everybody together. And my thing is that we got to come together because we're missing out. There's only a small percentage of people. They're getting everything. And we can't be mad at the 1%ers for making all the millions. They're already millionaires.
Right.
But we have to get back and point at ourselves to say, what can we do to spread the information?
So I had the opportunity to meet and become friends, if you will, with a couple of millionaires in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, and I say friends because if I saw him in the street, he would call me by my name. He won't just be like, "I know you from someplace." He wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He'll call me. He actually saw he know my wife, and when he see her, he'd be like, "How was Ricky?"
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a jewel many years ago, and what he said to me. So I said, "Mr. So and so, give me a jewel, like a life jewel." And his exact words was, "If you woke up broke, you should have never went to sleep."
Mm.
Wow.
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 Wow. Is that's correct.
Wow. Because you can't get on your feet till you get off your butt.
Yes.
Wow. If you woke up broke, you should have never went to sleep. So he's gone now, but that line stays with me. It was so profound. It's just with me. Yeah.
Mine would always be, if you don't have vision, God can't give you provision.
I heard you say that. That was
Yeah,
tight.
my daughter recently, last year, she's been married a year. And one of the things I would say I knew her back then boyfriend. I watched him grow up. But when I had my Smith and Wesson conversation,
click.
Yeah. I said to him, well, son, what's your vision? And if he had gotten to an moment and he didn't have a vision, I would have been against him marrying my daughter, because you got to have vision in order to lead. You got to have vision in order to provide. And if you don't have vision, you can't do anything for the people.
A lot of times people are not going to see your vision. And when people see your vision, they're not going to understand your vision. But as long as you got the vision.
Yep.
I was doing a project and the wifey didn't see the vision. I was telling her and she didn't see the vision. After the project came, she was like, "Yo, that's nice." Because I kept the vision. And just because she didn't see it, I didn't let that deter me from where I was going with my vision.
You have to do it like that. You have to have those tada moments, those Nike moments. Just do it.
Just do it.
You know? And you did it right. I experienced the same thing. Yeah.
I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask this question for people. What role does faith play in your being, your work, your personal, professional? What role does faith play in it?
Everything.
Nothing
Because
without it.
nothing. Because everything I do, I ask him if it's his will. Everything I do, if it's your will. And I have this class I teach. People don't even know I teach in the Chatham County Jail called New Beginnings. There was a movie called War Room.
Okay.
Now there's a new movie called The Forge. And in that movie, they talk about declaring and decreeing. Everything I do deals with faith and deals with that total existence. When Feed the Hungry, when we were getting a little bit of produce, the grandmother would come and say, "Baby, y'all got any cola?" "Cola, Grandma?" Y'all ain't got no cola." And I said, "No." And so then me and Mother Middleton, Dolores Middleton, we would get and pray. "In the name of Jesus, we need some Coca-Cola." True story. We started declaring Coca-Cola, bread, everything. It came into fruition. When we do these Feed the Hungry dinners, they would say to me, "You talk about vision. Mr. Gilliard, how many people are you going to feed in the National Guard? We're going to do about 3,000 people." You had the naysayers back there. You go again. We can barely keep our lights on. We can barely do so and so. How are you going to feed them? It's by faith. Everything we've done with Feed the Hungry, just like the other day, we didn't have money for a gas giveaway. We're going to do a gas giveaway. Then pick up the phone by faith. I'm going to declare and decree relationships.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's very important, even to your family, man. Your family won't be able to survive without that whole posture that a family prays together, stays together.
Yeah. And I saw on social media that you were able to attend one of your events. And so the people were like, the president had the opportunity to come down and work with us. What was that? The youth? Something else.
Recently?
Yeah, like day before yesterday, maybe yesterday.
So we had last week when the storm hit, we opened up our building, the Empowerment Center.
It was the Empower.
And right across from Groves.
Okay.
And even with that, I had, every time you went to a Feed the Hungry dinner, you had to go through the Empowerment Zone for 10 years. That same vision, I had it right here, and I couldn't tell anybody we were going to do an Empowerment Center. But we opened up the Empowerment Center in 2019, and we gave out free food the other day, and we had charging centers and cooling station. And then at that point, we got this truckload of two 26-foot trucks of food the next day that we didn't expect. And so I said, we're going to do a gas giveaway. I called the governor up, and I said, Mr. Governor, I want to thank you because I just read today you just exempted gas as far as taxes. And we getting ready to do a gas giveaway. At that point, we started making calls, and we put together 3 gas giveaways.
Yeah, and I just saw, I'm looking through my social media, and everybody was bigging you up, and I was like, yeah, that's my man right there.
Hey, man, it's the village, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without the village.
So I'm going to give you some words, and you tell me the first thing you think of when you hear after I give you whatever word.
Okay.
You ready? Hip hop.
Curtis Blow.
Rap.
A way of life, a message.
Will Smith.
Fresh Prince.
Denzel.
Malcolm X.
Biggie.
I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Pop.
Before it's time.
Man. Okay. Well, we want to thank you, State Representative Carl Gilliard, my brother.
Yes, sir.
We want to thank you for taking your time to come chop it up with us here at Clever Conversations. We really appreciate it. Do you want to leave the people with something? Leave the people with something. Tell them something.
My brothers and sisters, first of all, this is a great show. This is a great environment. This is a great studio. We got to support it in order for it to go forward. And if you like it, you just need to like it and be a subscriber. You need to support it financially. You need to sponsor it. You need to come to this studio and you need to support it because that's the only way it's going to survive so it can thrive and get the message out. The other thing is you got to go and get involved. You got to get involved in this election. You got to get involved. And when this election is over with, we as a people, we're going to move forward and we're going to build this city and make it better, build our community. Dr. King talked about the beloved community. It's our time to connect with one another. Don't be discouraged by what's going on. It's going to get better. I'm telling you, it's going to get better. And so I'm just blessed to be in the number. And we look forward to moving this city, moving this community forward.
What would you? I asked the mayor about this. I asked the mayor this question, and I asked aldermen about. I asked both the same question. So I'm gonna ask you this question: what do you want people to know about Savannah?
Beautiful city. I tell them all the time. We're the port city. You know, I talk about Georgia Port. I talk about the beauty of the city,
Seaport.
The squares, the seaport, the seafood. So every year I do a big seafood dinner, a lunch at the Capitol. They're all the way down the hallway. They love our seafood. They love our Gullah Geechee culture. We are the one that got it going on down ya. So they love our culture. We have a great culture. We have great beauty. The most organized city in the state. It was designed by the most organized with the squares. We just got a beautiful food segues, beautiful atmosphere. We got to enjoy our city.
The blend of people is excellent too.
It is. It's a culture of retired, unretired, black, white, Vietnamese, Hispanic, everybody coming north and south from all directions and countries. It's a powerful city.
Well, just going back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier, when you start naming the streets, I just want you to know that I live in Georgetown.
Yeah.
But if you have a clever drive, if you have a clever Boulevard, if you have a clever drive, I'm moving there. I want the first house. So
you got it. Clever D International known.
Listen, man. So we want to. We like to give. Show a little appreciation. To our guests.
Man.
If you want to look at that.
I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Let me tell you something. Jesus, we doing communion right here. I'm letting you know.
You see the glass?
Come on, man.
You see what's on it?
Come on.
Yours too?
I couldn't go to Club Shay Shay, but I tried to be Clever D. Man, let me tell you, this is nice right here. Man, I hope y'all can see that. Thank you for having a clear comment. This is unprecedented right here. Man, I
So
don't
what
know.
you have in it?
Man, I don't know. I'm trying to see how to open it up, mess
Right
up
here.
the box.
Right here in front of you. Pull,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, because it's a nice box. I don't want to mess it. I want to keep this box. Man. Oh, my wife gonna try to she got 2 shirts. This is nice. And
That's the logo.
that's a nice quality shirt,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'm gonna
Yes,
wear
sir.
this. Oh man, I
Open
had
that
a
out.
clever conversation. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. The Clever Conversation Pod. Boy, you done drop the mic, man. And oh, what? I got some wristbands, got my keychain for my new bicycle, man. Oh man, you better come on. Let me tell y'all something. I'm coming back. Cause he gave me I got a thermos with my name on it. Oh, y'all hear me?
What
Got a
the other
straw
side
too.
said?
Come on, the Clever Conversation Pod. Y'all done dropped the mic on this. I'm out. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even know if I want to leave. I might have to just camp out here. This is quality, man. Thank you, man.
We just appreciate your time. We
Man.
appreciate you stopping by. We know you are a very busy person, and so we do appreciate you. We want you to know that we appreciate you, and you're welcome to come back anytime. If you think that you want to get on, you just text me up.
Man, let me
It's
tell you something.
happening.
I'm gonna treasure this conversation. I'm gonna treasure this moment. I was looking forward to it. And you keep doing what
you know I was looking forward to it.
I even had a conversation with one of the Candy Love members before this, man. So I'm talking to Clever D. So,
yeah, man. So
thank you, man.
Thank you again, brother. Thank you
Appreciate
again.
you greatly.
And I want you to join me on this. I end every podcast by saying 2 fingers, 1 love.
Okay.
So if you ready?
Yeah.
Thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow all that fun stuff. Clever Conversations Podcast. And we're going to get out of here by saying 2 fingers, 1 love.